And we are back. We're having our final conversation for this morning, and we are joined by Lydia Thurton, who is a lecturer from the University of Belize, and we are going to be discussing the storage of medication and home, precautions that you can take in your home during this time, especially in the wake of what everybody's talking about. Of course, we're talking about the COVID-19 pandemic. So good morning, and thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
Morning.
Now, in a situation like this, we know that recently we are being encouraged to social distance and to stay at home. And with that, as we've seen all over the world, people are now getting into gear to like actually stay home and stockpile, whether it's food, other material, and a very important medication. So different types of medication, of course, will have different shelf lives and different ways that they need to be stored. So perhaps you can start by telling us, by giving just sort of a general comment as it relates to medication and how it differs from, food storage or stuff like that.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
For medication, one of the important things right now as people are being asked to remain at home is for people who have chronic conditions to make sure they have the medication that is required, that has been prescribed for them to help them maintain good health. Some of these same people are among those that are more vulnerable to the virus. And so persons who have hypertension, diabetes, any chronic condition, it's recommended that they have at minimum a month, if possible 2 months worth of medication at home.
Yeah.
In terms of storage of the medication, when it comes to most tablets and capsules, they can be stored at room temperature. It's recommended that they're in a cool, dry place. So you wouldn't store it in your bathroom because it gets humid with the shower coming on. It's not a good place. You wouldn't store
So those medicine cabinets in the bathroom, not the best place to store medicine?
Place, no.
Okay. First thing I'll need to change when I go home.
Yes. Yeah, the humidity can affect the stability of the medication depending on what it is. Also, you don't want to store it, say, in a cabinet that's right over your stove because of the heat, or under the sink, again, because of moisture.
Yeah.
So just having it in a cool, dry place, room temperature, so that it kind of protects the stability of the product. You do have suspensions and liquid preparations that might need refrigeration.
Okay. So read the label.
Read the label, ask your pharmacist. Most of them will highlight what needs to be refrigerated, and for most of those, it's in the refrigerator, not the freezer.
Okay.
Again, because it can affect the product.
I've also read you shouldn't put it in the door because that loses temperature a lot.
Yeah, the opening and closing constantly.
Can I step back for a bit? You said we should have 2 months worth of medication stored. So there are two people. The people who need to take medication, and there are people who just need to have medication on hand. What do you suggest we should get from the pharmacy to keep in our home at this time?
Whatever has been prescribed for you.
Yes.
For you to maintain good health.
Yeah.
For people who may have small children, they might want to have like cough, cold, common cough, cold, flu medication that they might have on hand. Just a bottle or two. You don't want to have
too much.
Because again, it will expire on you. It's a waste.
Yeah.
You create a shortage for people who may need it.
True.
Right. And I think one of the things that pharmacists are seeing in the communities around Belize, and it's all over, is that people listening to all the news worldwide, and every time something is mentioned, they rush out and try to get it.
Yeah.
And that can be more harmful.
Yeah.
If it's not prescribed for you, you don't need it.
Yeah.
You can be causing more harm than good. And you could be creating a shortage for people who actually need it.
Yeah, I've seen
that's
reports in the
critical.
States where that medicine that was mentioned, which I won't say, which is used for patients who have lupus,
Yes.
is actually difficult to find now
Yes.
because people assume it's going to help.
Yeah.
And one person actually, I think, is hospitalized, but taking it without needing it is not recommended.
Nope.
Yeah.
You can really cause more harm than it's,
Yeah.
than, you know.
You also mentioned the actual possibility for the medicine to expire if they use it.
Yeah.
What about the other situation where people might be saying, oh, well, I already have this in my home or whatever, and they don't really look at the expiration date, and it may be 2, 3, or, you know, even years expired.
Yeah.
Which
What
was
is-
last year.
Exactly,
Guilty.
you know, they may not remember, say, oh, I don't need to buy anything else because I don't have this. What's the risk, or, you know, if you are keeping, you know, or using, I should say,
Expired.
medicine that's expired?
Again, it depends on what the condition is. If you have medication that you've been storing, like antibiotics, you should not store. You need to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Right? Again, that's one of the things that really should only be taken when prescribed.
Mm-hmm.
If you have your hypertensive medication or diabetes medication and it has expired on you because you're not taking it, it means that you haven't been, you know, sticking to your treatment plan. So those things are not recommended. You need to get rid of it. And speak with your pharmacist and have them supply you with what is needed.
And expired doesn't mean that it looks like it's, you know, falling apart.
No.
It just means it's no longer effective.
It might
'cause
not
the
be
pill could look
effective.
clean or normal, I should say.
Yeah.
But it's just no longer effective
There-
to you.
Most of them you won't see any physical change,
Yeah.
but it might not be helping you.
Okay.
It could possibly be harming you, but in most cases it's not helping you.
So this is a good time because actually people who get prescription to the NHI are actually allowed to go get 2 months worth of medication. They can send someone if they're high risk and they don't want to go to the clinic. But once you get it, it's how you store it. Yeah.
Yes.
So let's go back to that. You're
So
saying
it's-
some suspensions go in the fridge. Pills are usually fine to leave
Fine,
out.
room temperature,
Yeah.
but you want to have it in a place that is cool and dry, not subject to a lot of changes in temperature, too much moisture, humidity in the bathroom from the
Yeah.
shower and things like that. And for those who get their medication through private pharmacies, they can call their pharmacist ahead of time, letting them know that they're coming in for their refill or to have enough, so they can have it prepared for them by
Yeah.
the time they get there. They send for it, so they don't have to stand around
And
too
be
many people.
exposed,
Yes.
And then just to, you know, be kind of clear, if you do store your medicine improperly, so let's say if you don't put something that needs to be refrigerated in the fridge, or you keep your pills or something in one of these high humidity areas, it does affect the...
It can possibly affect the product itself, the chemical in the preparation, and it might not work the way it was designed to work.
Yeah.
It becomes unstable.
What other precautions should we be taking?
I think the things that have been repeated over and over, making sure that you maintain proper hygiene,
Yeah.
you know, cleaning surfaces regularly, door handles, light switches, some of those things, you know, remain standard and important. Having maybe just a bottle of Tylenol
Yeah.
tablets,
That's something
we
good
have,
to have at home, right? Tylenol?
suspension for it if you have children, you know, maybe having a home thermometer that you can check.
And
You
we
brought
have
one here?
Yes, these are the digital ones are usually easily available and easy to read.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
fairly affordable.
Yes, and you know, you just press the button, you place it in most cases under the arm, not
Like
with the
tucked
clothes,
all
right
the way
in on
under.
the skin.
Yeah.
Yes, making sure it's touching, and the tip has to be touching the skin, and it usually beeps when it's reached the temperature.
What's normal? What's
Around
worrisome?
97.7, 98 is normal, and typically if you have a temperature of say 100, 102, 3, and it's sustained, that's when you would need to call your physician.
Yeah. When should you take temperatures? When should you take your temperature?
Maybe not immediately as you get up, because sometimes your core temperature is a little higher after being wrapped up all night.
I didn't know that, yeah.
Or just after, you know, exercise. Anything that causes your core temperature to increase, you know.
Okay.
So
So wait an hour or so
yeah.
after you wake up and maybe
Yeah.
take your temperature.
And most people do the hand feel, and it may or may not be accurate depending
Oh,
on
I
your
do
sense
it all
of
the
touch.
time. I'm like, oh,
You know,
I think
I
I'm...
have a, yeah. Yeah, so it's good to have at home when you have.
And the other one is the...
This is just a blood pressure
Okay.
monitor, again for home use.
Yeah.
And it's good for an individual use, not more than, you know, two people using it, because you want it to be accurate.
Yeah.
One of the things that with these, even with the thermometer, you have to make sure your battery is good,
Yeah.
because if the batteries aren't good, then you won't get accurate readings. So a
Yeah.
good time to make sure the batteries are good and fresh.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, that's key for hypertensives to have at home,
Yes,
right?
Yeah.
Yes, and then you have those who would monitor their blood glucose at home as well.
Okay.
And likewise, you want to make sure whatever device you're using,
Yeah.
you have your strips, you have all that you need to
Yeah.
do that.
And insulin storage?
Insulin is stored in the fridge when you're unopened, and to
You warm it?
warm it like, not again,
Mhm.
not in the freezer, not in the door, so that
Mhm.
you can use it.
And it also, just struck me when you mentioned talking about, what everybody's repeating about the measures for hygiene, is that we also have to take that into account when we're talking about storing medication and medical equipment too. So maybe you can talk to us a little bit about making sure, that it's in a, disinfected surface, or...
Yes, you want to
Yeah.
make sure the surfaces are clean, and after you use it on one person, you would clean, say, the thermometer
Yeah.
with an alcohol swab from the tip
Down.
down.
No.
All right. And,
Okay.
between
Not a good
use-
time to use the thermometer in your mouth.
No.
No, yeah. You can do under your armpit
Yeah.
and you'll
And
get an accurate reading.
I don't know how. This one is just at the temple. So
Oh.
between the eyebrow and the hairline,
And I have the forehead one too, right? The
Yes.
no contact
Yeah.
one. Those are also available. But the most affordable one is just the little digital one.
Digital thermometer.
And people can get it if they want to monitor the
Yeah.
temperatures.
Yes.
You know, I went to when I did my stocking up, to the pharmacist. I was asking what people are buying, because I just wanted to know. They said the vitamin C
Vitamin
sold out
C.
everywhere.
Yes.
What else are you finding that people are
Cod
stocking
liver
up?
oil.
Cod liver oil.
and vitamin C mostly.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And what do you see people buying things that perhaps they shouldn't need, they don't need?
Well, they're definitely asking for it.
Yeah.
But I think most pharmacists are trying to educate people on that.
Yeah.
It's like the same medications that are being talked about
Yeah.
as possibly being helpful. People are trying to get a hold of it. But I think most pharmacists, at least that I know of, are trying to educate them on the dangers of that.
Yeah,
So they're definitely asking for it,
yeah.
you know.
So Tylenol you should have.
You can, yeah, some acetaminophen.
Cold medicine for the children.
Possibly, yes, just for the symptoms,
Yeah.
you know.
Cough stuff? Should you have cough?
You have to be careful with children and using products that have multiple ingredients.
Okay.
Right? So they are available, but it's usually discouraged that for children under 6 for using products that have too many ingredients in it, because you can have increased side effects
Okay.
as well. And another thing is that to remember that if you have a fever, it's your body telling you that something is wrong. So trying to mask it right away might not be the best thing, but to monitor and, call your healthcare provider and discuss it. If need be, get in touch with the Ministry of Health hotline,
Yeah,
the 0800 number that they have available.
yeah.
So that can be screened. Because when we start taking the medication right away, we are masking the fact that maybe there is something happening.
A lot of people are also doing supplements right now. Cod liver oil and vitamin C. Those are
Yes.
just two. People are loading up on the vitamin C pills, all these things. Are any of these things, should you be careful? Maybe some have counter, what do you call them?
Side
Reactions with
actions.
other meds?
Typically, no. You do need to be careful, especially if you, again, have diabetes. You would want to get a sugar-free formulation. Same with the cough, cold medication.
Okay.
There are alcohol-free options, sugar-free options. I think another concern is using a lot of the, people start to advertise their own concoctions, and that can be very dangerous to take where you really don't know what's in it.
Because you don't know what's in it. Even if they tell you, you don't know.
And they claim it works, but you really don't know, and how will it interact with what you are already taking for your whatever condition you have.
Other good items to have, like a first aid kit, I'd imagine is like alcohol, peroxide. Those also have expiration dates too.
Yes, most things do, you know, so
you need
check
your bottle of peroxide.
Yes.
And storage for these are no different.
Yeah, just room temperature.
Anything else you'd like to tell us? I'm sure you've seen your share of mishaps over the years.
Well, I
think
misinformation. Yes, misinformation is one of the most concerning things. You know, I think we all need to try to minimize how much of the sensationalized information and things that are circling around, because I think one of the things that will arise from this situation is the anxiety and the fear can lead to other mental health issues. So we need to kind of step back maybe from some of the social media posts and reacting to everything, and monitor how much of that we feed into and listen to, just for our own, you know, mental health to be well, because the anxiety alone can, you know, be harmful.
Absolutely.
So listen to the authorities in terms of getting the information, factual information, and not listening to every rumor, and it's not good for us.
I just wanted to clarify, because I know that we are told repeatedly that the majority of people who get COVID-19 will exhibit no or very mild symptoms. Is there anything, based on what you know from the symptoms, that you should probably have at home if you do get those mild symptoms?
Again, the symptoms tend to be what you would see, you know, the cough, the fever. But if you feel that you've been exposed, I think the best thing would be to call the Ministry of Health hotline. I think it's 0800
MOH Care.
And they have a list of questions that would then guide them in terms of referring you into, were you at risk? Where you are on the risk scale, and what should be done. I think at this time that would be the safest thing to do, because like I said before, if you start immediately taking some of the medications, you might be masking.
Something that's more severe. Valid point. Well, thank you so much for coming in and providing this information to us. You can get these things, the mechanical things, at a pharmacy, right?
Most pharmacies will have. Hopefully they still have in good supply.
I know thermometers were disappearing for a bit. They may still be available. So you can get one if you want to keep it at home, and also you have kits like your blood pressure kits that you can keep, especially if you have a hypertensive patient at home.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, too.
We're going to go ahead and take our final break now, and when we come back, we'll have our wrap-up, so stay tuned.